Acting Deputy President. I move that the following matter be referred. I move that the following matter be referred to the Rural and Regional Affairs and Transport References Committee for inquiry and report by 3rd of November 2025. The reasons for the Albanese government's cancellation of the Hells Gate Dam and any missed opportunities for flood mitigation, drought proofing and economic development in Queensland. I've just run downstairs.
Senator Roberts, do you need a sip of water? Or just...
No, I'm fine. I've just got to get my breath. It came upon me very suddenly. One Nation is proposing an inquiry into the cancellation of Hells Gate Dam, west of Townsville, which this Labor government cancelled for reasons that are still secret today. Some in the Canberra bubble might not be aware that North Queensland is currently very wet. It's underwater. Hells Gate Dam was proposed on the Burdekin River, north of Charters Towers and west of Townsville. Right now, downriver of the Hells Gate proposal, the Burdekin Falls Dam is at 217% capacity, 3 times what it holds. Right now, what it's designed to hold. Right now, it's overflowing a torrent of water over its spillway. Right now, just under 1,600,000 megalitres is overflowing out of the dam and straight into the ocean. Do you want to know how much is a megalitre? 1 million litres. 1,500,000 megalitres of rainwater flowing into the ocean. 1,600 gigalitres. This is a lot of water. Using a common cliché, that's the equivalent of 3 Sydney Harbours every day flowing over that dam wall right now into the ocean. Before all the climate scaremongers start to call this unprecedented and blame it all on cow farts, let's be clear. This is not unprecedented. It's happened before, many, many times, and worse. The dam still hasn't broken its record capacity set in 1991. And the Burdekin is seemingly receding after thankfully failing to hit the peak levels recorded in 2009, 1998, 1991, and many more in the hundreds of years before those records began. This is common. What's unprecedented, though, is this government's incompetence in cancelling the Hells Gate Dam. One of the first things it did, despite former Climate Chief Tim Flannery's claim in 2005 that drought conditions would become permanent in eastern Australia and that, quote, the rain that comes won't fill our dams because of climate change caused by man's use of hydrocarbon fuels, Australia continues to be a country of flooding rains. Inevitably, in the iconic Australian drought-flood cycle, another drought will come. That's why we build dams. Well, that's why we should build dams. At least any responsible government who takes their duty to Australia seriously would build dams. But the Greens have stopped that, and you're afraid to counter them. There will come a season, and Australians will think, with envy, about the time when an equivalent of 3 Sydney Harbours flowed out to sea every day from that river, the Burdekin. Those people will condemn the politicians of today who have done nothing to try and capture a bit more of that liquid gold called water. We know flooding rains will come again. We know seasons of drought will come again. Why is this government failing to build dams that will help us get through both droughts and floods and will help us protect people? Seem to be forgetting that. In cancelling Hells Gate Dam, how many North Queensland homes and farms has the Albanese government condemned to flooding in the future? Every decade? Less. How much blame does the Coalition take for failing to start a single nation-building dam in their 10 years of government before Labor? How much? Under the supercharged immigration policy being inflicted on the country, Australia is going to need much more water, much more water. And then I think of the irrigation areas, rich farmlands, potential irrigation areas that can be used and developed. That's why water is like liquid gold to our agricultural sector. When the next drought comes, our existing water reserves will be sucked dry far more quickly because no government has built water storage to keep up with the massively increased population. Mark my words. The next drought will be a man-made disaster. It will be the fault of more than a decade of politicians who were scared of the woke foreign organisations that told them not to build dams. Many politicians seem more scared of being called unpopular than of their grandchildren dying of thirst. That's why we need this inquiry, to get to the bottom of why Labor killed the Hells Gate Dam. The Labor Party has given no compelling justification. None. No justification to the people of North Queensland. No justification to the people of Queensland. No justification to the people of Australia. It's the Australian economy that will be affected. All the Labor is saying is, it's gone, good luck in the next flood and the next drought. What happened in the department? What happened in the minister's office? What possible reason was there for ditching such an important piece of infrastructure for an area that receives so much rain so often? This is what I hope an inquiry would be able to peek on behind the curtain. We would send a strong message that potentially life-saving infrastructure cannot just be subject to government whim without a proper explanation. Lives are at stake, livelihoods are at stake, a whole region's at stake, a whole state is at stake. The people of North Queensland deserve better. The people of Queensland and Australia deserve better. As a servant to the people, One Nation will continue to push for Australia to exit the worldwide organisations that try to dictate that we can't build life-saving infrastructure like dams. To protect people from floods, droughts and famines, One Nation will continue to push for dams, work for dams that capture our flooding rains and sustain us through the unprecedented droughts to come. With our plentiful resources, Australia could be unbeaten on the world stage. But we can only make a start on more productively using our resources for the people's wealth once our life source, water, is secured for future generations. Thank you.